Hey guys, welcome back. Oh. So, all you guys have been cool. You show up in person. A lot of people sitting at home. I'm gonna have to kind of talk between that mic for you and the computer because YouTube has decided to totally change its live streaming setup. And now the stuff that I used to use up here no longer works. So anyway, I'm doing the best I can, but you guys at home, there might be a little bit more delay and lag than usual. Anyway, YouTube has screwed me all up. So anyway, today we're going to go over review session 9 for lecture 9. And before I get started, the first thing I want to do is just go over where we stand in the course content outline. So, just a second, guys. Of course, I don't even have the stupid screen on. Not a good start, is it? There we go. Okay. Oh, these don't help me. So here we are today. Week number 10. Special topics and valuation. Next week, there is no class, so because I know, although I've answered a lot of questions, I know a lot of you are working on your assignment. I also know a lot of you haven't even started your assignment, and so I'm giving you a week off to focus on that. Okay, it's a big chunk of your grade, and so I want you to do well. It's not 15%, I think it's 18% now because we had to can assignment number 1 because of the lockdown, number 2. So anyway, no class next week. The last week, week number 12, I'm not going to live stream, not because of YouTube problems, but because I'm inviting a representative from the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors to come physically to present to you, and probably 2 people, I don't know yet, from PINS, which is the Property Institute of New Zealand, and they're going to explain to you their organization and how you can kind of engage with the property industry, even as a student, and what their organization is all about. So I will have some Kahoots in class, but because I'm not live streaming at all, the only way you're going to earn participation marks on week 12, our last session here in this class, is you have to show up live to that session, okay? So that will not be one that you could engage remotely. Of course, I'm preaching to the choir. You guys will probably show up anyway, but the people at home, sorry, you got to get on the bus and come on in, and if you want to earn your participation marks. It's just not, it's not very cool for people to come in and try to speak some guest lecturers and the room being, half populated. Okay, you guys should come in and pay your respects to the people from industry coming to speak to you. And of course, after they've said their bit, we'll go into an exam review, and I'll do a little bit of Q&A and give you the lowdown, which I know you want to know, the structure of your exam. I will divulge all of that on week 12. It will be lecture recorded, so don't totally stress out if you can't make it that day. The worst that could happen to you is you lose 0.5% of your grade. You don't get that percentage, participation mark. But I will record the lecture. It's usually when I do exam reviews and stuff, out come all the phones, like, something like somebody's being attacked on the street, so you want to check it out. And so as if it's like super, super secret information. It will be recorded, okay? Just like this one's recorded, and all of the things I do is recorded. So anyway, don't stress out too much. Okay, as far as your assignment number 2, just wanted to, again, some of you have already started. Oops, not announcements, we'll do home. Some of you already started, some of you haven't. If you haven't started, here is where you could find on the home page in the Prop 102 Canvas course. Here's where you could find the 2019 June extract from QV Cost Builder. As I mentioned in a Canvas announcement, there is a live, I think it's May 2020, maybe they've updated since, I don't know. That exists online via the University of Auckland Library website. You can access that, but the problem there is only one user can be on there at a time. So you could be halfway through trying to get data from there and be kicked out, and then you're in a battle of knocking each other out, trying to be on that website at the same time, because we only have one login. So anyway, I would just avoid that, and I just use this older extract. Just make sure you reference it in your assignment and say that you're using the June 2019 figures, which is fine. The other thing that exists here, which is very useful, is this worked example. So this is a little Excel spreadsheet, and I go through the worked example that I covered in the Lecture 8 lectures, the Part Bs of working through the assignment of that toy example. And this is the cost approach, so a little spreadsheet, no massively complicated thing, but you could use that as a basis to do your own if you'd like. And then there's the sales comp spreadsheet as well. So I'll actually just open that up. Just make one mention of something here. Let's see. So with this sales comp one, you don't need to use this, but I know how students operate, and they will use exactly the same colors. They'll do exactly what I do as much as possible, which is fine. I get that if that puts you in your comfort zone. My suggestion is keep these line items here. If you need to add to them, that's cool, add to them, but keep them. Even if they don't apply to your situation, go ahead and leave them in there, and just simply add to this. Expand it if you wish. But this worked example, this Excel file should help you kind of get a leg up on your cost approach and your sales comp, okay? So these things are on Canvas. You have to remember that I posted an announcement that unfortunately QV website has been completely reconfigured. Okay, it's no longer offers the type of information that I used in the cost approach kind of lecture, my walkthrough on figuring out the land cost. So the cost approach is really mainly about trying to figure out what is the replacement cost of rebuilding your subject property, but then you also have to kind of repurchase, in a sense, the land underneath it. So in the lecture videos, I talk about how to estimate the land cost, how much you'd have to pay for the land again, in a sense. But that data is no longer around. So I offered two different approaches to be able to estimate the land cost. And one of those is simply going on to good old Trade Me and doing a bit of a search for section sales. And you'll see maybe your submarket has none because you're in a developed area and there's no land sections that you could even refer to. Well, okay. Maybe it has some and they're all by negotiation or auction, or there's no explicit prices. Or maybe you're just lucky enough to be able to find some nearby sales of sections that have an explicit asking price. And you could use that asking price as a point estimate in trying to figure out what your land might be worth. Okay? Keep in mind the size of the land and some other factors as you would in, say, a sales comp, but you don't have to go that far as you would in the sales comp approach. Just make a bit of a pass. Okay? This is an academic exercise. Have a go. It's imperfect information. Do the best you can. That's one approach. So that's going and seeing asking prices on Trade Me. You might also consider, if you're using asking prices, to take a nominal deduction off of those asking prices for negotiation. Not a bad idea. Yeah. So you could either just say they're asking $600,000 for a section and it's similar to the size of my land and it's in a similar location in town, and you could just leave it at that. Or you could say, you know, that's the asking price. I'm going to take off 5% or whatever. Assuming that there is going to be a negotiation and somebody's not going to just pay the full asking price. So that might be worth considering. You should be explicit in making those assumptions. Even if you use the $600,000, you could just say the market's awesome, it's hot, people are going to pay that asking price. That's your assumption. Fine. Say it to the reader. So that's one way to deal with it. And if you have no dice and you have no asking prices you can refer to, well, that kind of sucks, but there's another option. Even if you do have asking prices, I think you still should use the second option as well, an alternative approach, and that's going to find, and I'll go ahead and just do that here. So if I just Google Auckland Council rates, yeah, and the very first thing that pretty much always comes up is find your rates. Okay. Can't you remember the address? Oops. It's that Busby or something like that. I'm just going to say 3 Busby. I can't remember if that's it. There we go. Maybe that's the one I did. Anyway, you type in your subject property's address, and what you could find is you could find its valuation. Now, the last time, don't get confused by this, and a lot of students are like, oh, that's the 2020. No. The last time Auckland Council valued all of its land for rates purposes was July 2017. Okay, so these values are July 2017. So 3 Busby, this example here, what the council estimated was the land underneath the house is worth $710,000 as of July 2017. So of course we're not in July 2017. We have to try to somehow fast forward that price or move it, adjust it to today's market if possible. Now again, there's very imperfect information to allow us to do that. So the suggestion that I gave to you guys on a Canvas announcement is to go into the Reserve Bank. Yeah, so let's just Google that. We'll do that together too, okay? So Reserve Bank New Zealand, HPI for House Price Index, okay? NZ for good measure. So we go onto the Reserve Bank's website, and there's all kinds of funky graphs. If you click on, you want to get to the spreadsheet, okay? So click on the spreadsheet. And one thing we have here should say housing. We scroll on down here. Just a second. View. Freeze frames, panes. Okay. So you see this is house price index. So it started in December 89, right? Okay. I've posted, I'll go ahead and do it on Canvas as well. A few students have emailed me. One student asked on Piazza, which is cool. Piazza is awesome because I could answer something on Piazza and theoretically the whole class can see this. I'll go ahead and just post it on Canvas to make sure you all see it. And I'll give you, let's just see if it's the same May. Yep, so it's still May 2020. I'll go ahead and basically give you the little formula and how to use this data to make an adjustment. So this is very imperfect because A, this is nationwide house price index, not Auckland. B, this is house prices, not land section prices, okay? Kind of sucks. It's not what we need, but this is probably the best we're gonna have to go by. So use this information to try to take from, say, June 2017, probably the closest you're gonna get, and adjust that up to May 2020, as close as we are today. Okay, that's probably the best you're gonna be able to do to take your July 2017 LV element of your subject and fast forward that to an estimate of what today's land price might be, okay? It's not perfect, but it gives you a point measure. You combine that with maybe some explicit asking prices of section sales in your general area within Auckland, and you could get something, okay? And that's what you're trying to get, is something meaningful, something that you could defend as a valuer, or defend to your fictitious partner Sam, okay? Something you could debate and talk about. Okay, the last thing on the assignment is you need to submit your assignment both to Canvas, okay? So it's gonna go up to Canvas, and it's gonna go to Aropa. And I posted an announcement on Canvas of how to do that. And as far as I know, everything is live and cool with Aropa, and you should be able to get in there, redo your password because you're given a generic password assigned to, no gap between assigned and to. And then it'll tell you, okay, you got to make your own password. If something happens and you put something in there and you can't remember your password and you're like blocked out of Aropa, you have to email me. There's no clever way within Aropa to kind of reset your password. You have to email me, I have to go in, and I have to reset it myself. I have to pretend I'm you and change the password. And then I'll let you know what your new password is, okay? So it's not perfect. This is actually a system that was set up here at the University of Auckland. So this is a homegrown, Aropa is a peer review system that is actually better than the others, the really well-funded and resourced ones that I've come across, so. Okay. The last thing that I have jotted down here for me to tell you is it's very important that you not only read the instructions for assignment 2A, which is you doing your main report, but it's important that you read your instructions for assignment 2B, which is your peer review of 8 of your classmates' work. And that's because in those instructions, it has a rubric of what it is that you're expected to assess, how you should assess your classmates' work. And it'd be good when you're doing your own assignment, how that assessment is carried out. So you can kind of maybe change tact on how you do your assignment 2A based on the rubric, okay? Because I'm gonna be using the same basic rubric when I'm looking at your grades. And students, for all the time I've done this kind of peer review thing, they always say, oh man, just lazy bastard is what you are. You're just gonna take the average mark. I know you are, or you're gonna do something like that. So this is the way I do it, okay? So the marks come in, I make myself a bit of a matrix, and it's actually very similar to what we do with your guys. We as in the property department, I can't speak for the other bigger departments in the school, but what we do at the end of, say, every semester is we line you guys up, okay? For first year like this, we're completely, we have no idea because this is the only property course and this is pretty much all we see. When you guys go into your second year of property, then you're taking, 4 papers a semester, and we start seeing a line of grades. It's fascinating. Of course, you guys see your own grades, but we get to see everybody's grades. It's incredibly fascinating how it's like B, B minus, B, B plus. I mean, it's so consistent. A plus, A minus. Then you have some people that are like A plus, C minus. It's like all over the show. So what I will tend to do is I'm going to create a similar matrix of just your guys' peer-reviewed grades and the comments and the key stuff that you put together. I'm going to lay all that out, and I'm going to go through it one by one. And if I see C, 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 C plus C, I'm not going to spend a god-awful amount of time trying to figure out what I should give that student, okay? If I see A, B, C, it's all over the place, I'm going to spend a bit more time. Okay, so I'm going to have your thing open, I'm going to look at that, and I'm going to make a judgment call, and I'm going to move on. So the ones that are very consistent in those 8 marks, it's a lot of marks, then I will pretty much take your guys' lead on what these students should get. And at the end of it, I'll show you what the grades that you guys marked versus my grades. Anyway, I'll be transparent, but don't think it's going to be like I run through your kind of participation marks and just use software, just and walk off. Oh, look at the grades. Oh, cool, and upload them. I do go through your guys' stuff, and depending on how things are looking, I'll spend more or less time on them. So just be aware of that. But that's why it's kind of important that you pay attention to the rubric, because to a certain extent, your classmates do have swing on what you will get. Now, if 8 classmates pass judgment and say you should get a C, you're probably going to get a C. If 8 of them said you should get an A, probably going to get an A. If it's a mixed match, then I'm going to come in and I'm going to be a judge and start saying what's going on, okay? All righty. So we're going to move on to our Kahoots. If I could click on this stupid thing. Where's my mouse? Here we go. So remember, just as in the past, I know it's been a long, long time. The first one we're going to run here is the one not for the chocolates. It's the one for your marks. So you guys at home, I know there's a bit of delay. Do your best. So this one, UPIs only. After we do this one, whatever. We're into the chocolates and it's all whatever. Okay, so first Kahoot, review session 9. Looks like they've redesigned it a little bit. All right, so here's the game plan. UPIs only, please. 2420586. About half the class now. I'll give you guys a little bit of time because the people at home, I know there's a lag with YouTube, the live stream. Uh-oh, S and Sam, not good. Few more moments, guys. I won't be nearly as patient for the other ones because it's just you guys in the room. Sack Rider 2. Don't think that's an UPI.
So just like 20 seconds.
Huh?
Just 20 seconds, please.
20 seconds. What do you need 20 seconds for? All right. I'm calling it. Here we go. Discussion questions. If something happens and you guys in the room screw up, give me a piece of paper with your name on it. No big deal. Based on the Ratings Valuation Act 1998, TAs must assess rateable value at least every how many years? Every year? Every 5 years? Every 3 years? Every 10 years? Starting you off nice and easy. How often do we do our assessed values? Oh, you guys are just like completely on fire. Look at you. Man, you came here to play. Okay, now we're gonna really test you. Type this sucker in. Blank variables and mass valuation models involve binary coding. Typically 0 equals no, 1 equals yes. What are those variables called? I'll give you a hint. They're not the most clever variables. Okay. Now let's see if I get a 95% accuracy on this, like your last question. Okay, 171 answers. Whoa, you're all over the place. It's okay. Dumby. I like the Dumby. Okay, not the worst thing ever. Okay. On your final exam, just like on your test, okay, it's not a spelling bee. If I see dumb bee or something like that, it's fine. I'll give it to you. Okay. All right, here we go. True, false. A regression's line of, how do you know that? Line of best fit is the line that intersects the most data points. Okay? So like an archer with a bunch of apples. Going straight through them data points. So those are data points, observations with no error. Is that the line of best fit? Somebody said true earlier. It does sound true, doesn't it? It really does sound true. Okay. Okay, it's not true. The reason why it's not true is here you have all these points. You're trying to minimize the error. Okay? If you get 0, awesome. That's sweet. But it's about the error between all the points. Okay? That's the best fit. You will have error. Okay, question number 4. To account for diminishing marginal utility, an extra blank variable could be specified within a mass valuation model. Discrete, there's the dummy one. Polynomial or continuous. What the heck is this? Come on, try to get a 95% right on this one too. I know you guys can do it. I have a feeling I'm going to see lots of colors. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Polynomial, that's right. So that's adding, like in floor area, you have floor area in square meters and floor area squared. Okay, those two variables together deal with things like diminishing marginal utility. So that 155th square meter of the house, 3-bed house, is worth a little bit less. 156 is worth even less, and so forth. The first ones are worth a lot more. Somebody is on fire. Okay, 5 of 7. Which of the following organizations oversees and audits rating valuations in present-day New Zealand? Okay, the Department of Valuations, Department of Building and Housing, Land Information New Zealand, Inland Revenue Department. Wow. Okay. So who makes the rules and audits all this stuff? That's right, LINs. You wouldn't think it, but they do it. Okay, true, false. In New Zealand, residential land developers tend to calculate their required development profit margin as a percentage of development cost. Okay. Sometimes you can do it as a development of percentage of development value, what all the houses might be worth when you sell them at the end. But here in New Zealand, they tend to do cost. Is that true or false? That's right, it's true. I know. Good job, that's much better than the last true, false. Okay, this is the last question. Here we go, true, false again. Less costs from the new house, take away costs from the new house. The balance is residual value, the max bid for a service section. Not the best worded question in the world. So how do you arrive at residual land value? Okay, that one is a bad question. Okay, poorly worded. When I can't even read it, it's not a good question. All right, but that is true. Okay, so if we take the costs away and we look at the house price, the residual is the land value. Okay, that's what's left over. Okay, here we go. Fun. A joy. Sigib. Good job. Okay, now you guys can use whatever UPIs you want. Just be clean. This is for the chocolates, okay? So I got 12 little balls, chocolates. I'm going to give 6 and 6. That's my plan. So. Hey, Barat. All right. I'm cutting you off soon, guys. I think there's around 100 and something in the class. Here we go. Here we go. 5, 4, 3. Smelly-ish. Dr. Me. Go. Here we go. Term number 1. In Auckland, home developers have tended to gradually blank to achieve adequate profit margins. I know it's too much to read. Increase house size and increase section size, increase house size and decrease section size, decrease house size and increase section size, decrease house size, decrease section size. Which one of that kind of grid is right? That's right. Good job. True, false? Removal of development contributions will almost certainly result in lower house prices. Now I have to note that when I ask questions either on these Kahoots or in the exam, this is the universe of this course, okay? This is not just your personal opinion. This is what I talk about and I lecture in the course. This is the best answer based on what you're taught in the course. Yeah, that's right. The talking heads in the media would have you believe that if you get rid of development contributions, we're going to just solve everything. Just take that RMA and light it on fire. Okay? But what's going to happen if you do that? Okay, at the end of the day, either the developers are going to have a bit of ability to bid more for the land, or they're just going to put it where? Right there. Are they going to serve it up to the home buyer? Most likely not. Okay, that's not the way the market really functions. If this is a private developer looking out for a profit. Okay, again, based on the universe of what was in the lectures of this course, service section prices lead and drive house prices. This isn't just your personal opinion. It may differ from what I covered in the class and in my lectures. Yeah, I try to warn you. I try to warn you and you don't listen. Okay? Again, popular belief would say the damn land values are just gone through the roof. And we need to do something with the land, release land, do whatever we can with the land. Well, the whole idea of the lecture, the portion on residual land value, will tell you that the land value is just a function of the house price. Okay? It goes the other way around. All right? There you go. Sorry, guys. So this is a good kind of, trial. Vacant urban residential land use or economic value until it features a dwelling, okay? Now I'm probably screwed you all up. You're not going to know what to believe anymore. So residential land has little use or economic value until you put a house on it. There we go. That's better. So you could enjoy a little game of backyard cricket. You could pitch a tent. Maybe you have a nice shade tree on there, So it might have some value, but until you plop a house on there, it really doesn't have a whole lot of value all by itself. Last one. Unlike the US or the UK, New Zealand's residential land developers convert raw land into service sections and on sell. Okay, that's not universal, but this is the tendency here in this market versus bigger markets. That's what this statement says. Is that a true statement? Does that reflect reality here in New Zealand or not? That's right. It is true for the most part. There are the big players. There are Fletcher Residential and the likes that will do the full Monty. But by and large, land development is a two-stage process. Okay? All right, I'm just gonna get to the juicy bits here. Where's my report? Yeah, I see that thing. Okay, the first 6 people are KL. Oh, in the back. Okay, you ready? Okay, these are getting old, so just be careful. Oh, sorry. Where's Kirsty? There you go. Okay. Where's Sam? Oh, another back rower. Okay, watch out. People in front. I'm going to throw it right back to that fellow. There you go. Yep. Eyes open. Okay, there we go. Where's B? Okay, I'm watching out for Sam because I don't know about him. Okay. Where's A Van? You guys come on, throw them up here. Come on. I can't say I trust you. Here we go. Oh, see, that one's almost. Ah, you guys. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's A Van 424? Here we go. Now you wouldn't throw it at me, I could tell. I'm safe with you. Where's A? Oh. Go ahead. Where's A? Is A here? Where are you? A? Sorry, I need to put my glasses on. That's protection too. There we go. A. No A. All right. Where's Bahar? 544. All right. Oh, I almost hurt you. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's it. Next one. Go ahead and throw it back. Okay. Ugh. There we go, guys. Oh, where am I looking? I'm using the wrong friggin' mouse. Okay, last but not least. Again, as long as it's clean, whatever kind of nickname you want. 464-9795. Oh boy. Now what is meant by big dog's pipe? Rot will win. All right, I'm calling it. 3, 2, 1. Lakers. Go. Okay, last but not least. 5 questions. A mass valuation model is based on sales of approximately how much of the dwellings in a given housing market? Okay, it can't really be possible to do them all. So roughly, what is the turnover that we're dealing with? We're going to use some fraction to estimate the whole bit. That's right, roughly a fifth, and it totally depends on the market. Okay, a lot of transactions, it might be more than that. Could be less. Roughly a fifth. As multiple regression is a parametric test, the dependent variable house price is transformed to, what do we do with that dependent variable? Which is important if you ever look at a study and you see the coefficients, they won't really make much sense. They're not dollars, and that's because of this. Very good. You stats people. True or false? Ratepayers may object to their rates property tax assessment if an error has been made by the council. It's actually a bit of a tricky question, this one, but I'll explain why after we get through it. Okay, that's a true statement, but it's a tricky question because you could object for whatever reason you want. You just don't like their figure. So it doesn't mean they're going to go ahead and listen to you. So you could object for any reason. So that's why it's a bit of a tricky question. But by and large, ratepayers can object. That's the point here. They have the right to object. 4 or 5. Throughout New Zealand, property taxes rates are based on value of land and improvements, or known as CV. Throughout New Zealand, property taxes are based on CV. Is that a true statement? Is that how we roll here in New Zealand? Survey says, oh, damn, son. Okay. What? Maybe it was a mistake by Mike. No. Okay, in Auckland, that is the case. In a lot of places, that is the case, but that is not universally the case. There are plenty of areas in New Zealand that just look at land value, and your rates are purely based on land value. Okay? The far north is one of those places, for example. Far North District. True or false? Residential property rates are mainly a function of actual or imputed rents. Mainly a function of actual or imputed rents. Is that how they kind of figure out the rates? Oh, ooh, split decision. Okay, property rates are based on market value. Now you could argue that market value is based on rent, but I'd say to hell with that. That's not anywhere close, and you should be realizing this based on your assignment. So that is definitely a false statement. Okay, they are not based on rents. Back in the day, way back when, there was quite a weighting on the rents that a property could or does receive, but we're well past that point in the market. We don't deal with that anymore. Okay, here we go. Get to the 6. You guys can go on your merry way. All right, Mike Honcho. Okay, Jedwa. I'm watching you, Mike. Go ahead, throw it back up. Mike Honcho. Thanks. Where's Jedwa? Not here? Oh. Where are you? No. Okay, now you're gonna start lying. All right, Chris. It's Chris in the house. All right, it's coming off the wall, Chris. It's coming off the wall. Here it comes. Oh, no. Sorry, Chris. Sorry, can you give it to Chris, please? Thanks, guys. Sorry about that. Kim Jong-uno. All right. Thanks, guys. Did you already throw it back, Chris? Awesome. Yep. Abiz. Oh, sorry. My bad. Okay, we got 2 left, guys. Where's game 7 something Dort? I'm totally mispronouncing it, I'm sure. AJ. Where's AJ? All right. Thanks, guys. Give that back. Sweet. Okay, I'm available if you have any questions on the assignment. A lot of you have emailed me, you know that. So do it on Piazza, do it by email, however you want. Make an appointment, come see me. I'm available. See you guys. Huh?